right, it's good to be with our missionary, Brother Bob Mach, over in the Ivory Coast. Take just a moment, tell us about yourself and your family.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Bob Mach. My wife, Becky, and our daughter, Morgan, are still with us here in the Ivory Coast. We have three older children, and we first arrived here in 1995. So we are in our 26th year now of working here in the Ivory Coast. We have worked in two different cities. Our first term was in the city of Anyama. And then since the year 2000, we've been working here in the city of Bangerville. And in a little bit, I'll take the opportunity to explain those ministries somewhat to you. But again, we are a veteran missionary family working here for 26 years. Our two older children who are now married grew up here, as did our other two. Morgan is our special needs child, and she'll always be with us here in the Ivory Coast. Both our sons, Bob and Luke, have determined that the Lord is calling them back here to the Ivory Coast in West Africa. And so they're each at various levels of preparation, and we look forward to getting them back out here permanently as well. In our first term, as I mentioned, in the city of Anyama, we worked with another missionary in establishing an independent Baptist church there. And today, that church is still continuing well. It's an autonomous church pastored by one of the men that we trained during that time. And so we're very thankful for the early success that the Lord gave us here on the field. In the year 2000, we moved to the city of Bangerville and started a church in this town. And when the church was still very young, we began to challenge our people to find ways to evangelize groups of people who were not already visiting our church. And that sort of gave birth to our literacy ministry that we used to reach out to the Muslims in our city. It gave birth to the sports ministry that we use to reach the youth of our city, and to our medical ministry that we use to get into the villages that are very animist. And then in 2009, we opened a second church in the far north of the country in the village of Zanapledugu. And in our last term, we opened a third church out in the far west of the country in the city of Mach. So those are our current ministries that we are conducting.
Is there anything that we can pray with you about, Brother Mach?
Pray that the Lord gives us wisdom in regard to turning those churches over to national pastors. The Bangerville Church, we hope to turn that over to one of our young men in 2024. And so then that church would be autonomous. Our Mach church, I think, will probably gain its autonomy around that same time, 2024, 2025. Our church in the far north really needs your prayer. The man that we had pastoring that passed away this past January, and that's a very specialized position. You have to speak Cherma, have a great understanding of that particular ethnic group in that village. Pray with us that we can find someone that could take that particular ministry. But in the future, we are going to be very much involved in our Bible Institute and seminary, training men to be pastors and to be missionaries, and that will be the future thrust of our ministry.
And last of all, could you give us a challenge?
You must hear the gospel in order to believe it, and one must be sent in order to preach that gospel so that it be heard. This is very effectively reaching the Ivory Coast of West Africa. The people here are open. Working here in the Ivory Coast is a great blessing. The folks are open to the gospel. It is easy to evangelize. It's easy to develop churches here. And I am so thankful that the Lord has sent me here. So as the local church back in the United States, you can be challenged in the sense that maybe there would be people from your church that the Lord would send here. Monies that you have given for the ministry in the Ivory Coast have produced much fruit that abounds to your account. There are many souls here that have come to Christ that are undoubtedly because of monies that have come through your missions program. And of course, your prayers are essential. As a missionary, I can testify all day long to the fact that our safety, our health, and our ability to continue to serve the Lord here is due to the prayers of folks in our supporting churches back in the States.